Good afternoon, everybody. It's Miss Morgan from the Williston Community Library bringing you today's STEAM activity. So today we're going to do a dancing corn themed STEAM activity. So you're going to need some vinegar, and hopefully you've been able to pick up your kits if you've reserved them, some baking soda, and some popcorn kernels. All right, but before we get working on our experiment, let's go ahead and read a book about the life cycles of corn. Corn Life Cycles. And this is a buddy book by Julie Murray. What is a life cycle? Corn plants are living things. The world is made up of many kinds of life. People are alive, so are owls, otters, badgers, and cacti. Every living thing has a life cycle, and a life cycle is made up of many changes and processes. During a life cycle, living things are born, they grow, and they reproduce, and eventually they die. Different living things start life and grow up in unique ways. What do you know about the life cycle of corn? All about corn. Corn is a plant that is grown in fields. It is raised in most areas of the world. The United States produces the most corn in the world. The state of Iowa grows the most corn in the United States. Actually, Iowa raises more corn than most countries. Did you know that? Because that's something I did not know. Only China grows more corn than Iowa. There are 6 main types of corn. There are waxy corn, popcorn, sweet corn, flint corn, flour corn, and dent corn. Each type of corn has a unique taste, use, and texture. Each kind also looks different. Corn comes in many colors, including yellow, white, blue, and red. And look at that corn. And then different colors that are on it. And there's some caramel popcorn, and these are called corn nuts. They sell them at the store. They're really, really crunchy. People can enjoy corn in several ways. Many people eat sweet corn, and popcorn is a yummy snack. However, corn has many other uses. Dent or field corn is used to feed animals. It is also used to make products such as fuel, plastic, corn oil, and cornstarch. And look, there's the dent or field corn, and it's feeding some cows and chickens. Corn is ground and used in many everyday products. These include cereals, syrups, paints, and paper goods. A corn plant's life. A corn plant begins life as a seed. Corn grows best in places with lots of sunlight and warm air. But scientists have developed corn plants that grow well in cooler weather, too. The corn plant's growing cycle begins in spring. Farmers plant seeds when the soil is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Once planted, the seeds sprout and corn stalks begin growing. Over the summer months, the small plants grow bigger and bigger. Soon, an ear of corn appears on the stalk. When the ears are fully grown, it is time to harvest them. People eat some of the harvested corn. Corn is used to create important products. Have you ever picked an ear of corn? Have you ever gone to a cornfield and picked your own corn? I haven't ever gone to a cornfield, but when I go to Walmart sometimes during the summer, you can get some corn, ears of corn from there. Guess what? Popcorn is the only type of corn that pops when cooked. The United States grows more of this popular snack food than any other country. Cornstarch helps make many useful products. These include denim, paper, and the plywood used to make houses. The modern corn plant comes from a Mexican grass plant called teosinte. Teosinte grows wild in Mexico. However, it does not produce ears of corn. Starting to grow. Corn is a crop that is grown in fields. Corn plants produce ears of corn, which are full of kernels. These kernels are the plant's grain or seeds. Most corn kernels are yellow or white, but they can be red, blue, or other colors too. In the past, farmers used their own kernels to start corn plants, but today most farmers buy their seeds. This helps them grow better crops. The corn planting process starts in the winter months. At that time, farmers plan what kinds of crops they will plant. They also decide which field to use. Then they order the seeds. When the weather is warm enough, planting begins. Most farmers use machines to help them plant corn crops. To begin, some farmers plow and clear the remains of the last year's crops. Then they plant the new seeds in rows. Other farmers use a method called no-till. The farmers don't plow or remove crop waste. Instead, they drill through it to plant in the soil below. This helps improve soil quality. From seed to stalk. Once planted, the seeds germinate in the ground. Soon, tiny corn plants help the plants grow taller. Soon, tiny corn plants come through the dirt. Sun and rain help the plants grow taller and taller. In some of the early stages, corn plants can grow a couple of inches each day. After 4 to 6 weeks, the corn plants begin forming a tassel and corn silk. This means the plant is able to produce ears of corn. Some stalks grow just one ear, but others may grow more. And look, there they are using a planter to plant several rows of corn at once. An ear of corn begins growing when pollen falls from the tassel onto the corn silk. Each strand of silk can accept 1 grain of pollen. Each strand then makes one kernel of corn. Those kernels grow together to make an ear. The kernels start out very small, and at the beginning, they are full of liquid sugars. This is called the milk stage. Over the warm growing months, the liquid sugars turn into solid starches, so the corn kernels become more solid as they grow. In 9 to 11 weeks, the corn plant is fully grown. Farmers look at the plants and kernels for signs that they are ready to be picked. The kernels will be a certain size and dryness. When the corn is ready, it is time to harvest it. Farmers use large farm machines called combines for this process. One combine can pick 8 to 12 rows of corn at once. I'm learning a lot about corn. How about you guys? A combine separates the ears of corn from the stalk. Then the combine separates the kernels from the cobs and husks. The kernels go into a holding tank. The other parts of the corn are left in the fields. Farmers sell the harvested corn. Trucks take corn to stores or factories. Their corn is made into products for people to buy and use. Endings and beginnings. After harvest, the corn plant dies. But this is not the end of all corn, because corn grows kernels and can reproduce. This plant's life continues on. Every time a farmer plants kernels, it helps create new generations. This is the beginning of another life cycle. The end. All right, everybody, so now that we've read our story about the corn, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our activity. So like I said, you're going to need some vinegar, some baking soda, and some corn kernels. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the lid off of each of our things. And I'm going to put a bag under mine. That way if it goes over at all, we have something to catch. And then I'm going to take probably just a little bit of corn kernels, and you're going to add them to your vinegar, just like that. And you don't need too many. And then we're going to take our baking soda, and you're going to need something to scoop the baking soda out with. So go ahead and grab that. Okay, so I have my little scoop here. And you don't need too much baking soda, and you're just going to put it in and wait for it to finish fizzing. If you just do a little bit at a time, it helps the vinegar not to come out of, it helps the vinegar to stay in the cup. So now we're going to wait for it to finish fizzing, and if you look, it's fizzing all the way down here, and then watch what the kernels begin to do. See how the kernels came up and now they're dancing. So if you look, they're going up and down. All right, so here is a better view of it. So we're going to take a little bit more baking soda. And the cool thing about this is you can do it as many times as you want. Okay, now start to watch the corn kernels right here. There they are dancing. What do you think causes them to go up and down? What do you think makes them dance? Uh-oh. So as the baking soda reacts to the vinegar, it causes the chemical reaction that makes it fizz And then as you see, there's some bubbles, and the bubbles help lift the corn up to the top, kind of like if you were to shake a bottle of soda or something. There's all the bubbles that come to the top. And then once the bubbles begin to pop is when the corn begins to fall to the bottom again. So that is why it reacts the way that it does and why it looks like it dances. So as you can see, they're still being lifted up, but some of them are falling and they get picked up by other bubbles. Alright everybody, so that concludes today's STEAM activity. We hope that you had fun and that you learned something new, whether it be just about the corn stalks and how corn grows and the cycle that it goes through, or whether you had fun just doing the experiment. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye!